Justin, you are right now leading the NFL touchdown interception ratio and also completions and touchdowns downfield, 20-plus yards. I'm just curious what you think personally you've done to kind of enable those kind of performances that have led to that, and also maybe what your teammates have done to help you get to that point.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of a few things, and I think it starts with the offensive line. And the play doesn't start without protection and having time to be able to get the ball off. And Bose and those guys have done such a great job communicating and working together. And I feel very comfortable dropping back and knowing that I've got time. And then having guys that go make plays downfield. To be able to throw to Ladd, Q, Josh, Jalen. They've all done such a great job. And I think it really is a team effort, and they make my job really easy.
Justin, in the second half, you guys have drives that Sunday's game that kind of stalled out. Something you do to keep focused, like the way you were able to deliver on that final drive or whatever? Is there anything you do to focus back into moments like that?
I think it's just to stay patient, to understand that it's a 60-minute game, and you got to be mentally focused and dialed in for every single drive. And if a drive goes our way or if it doesn't go our way, we're going to attack the next one just like the last one. And we're not going to let one drive affect our next one. And I think the guys have done a really good job of staying focused and next play mentality. And as long as we're able to do that, guys are going to make plays like Ladd did on that last drive.
And you talk about Ladd since he got here pretty much. Does that surprise you, like what he did on the last drive, or what he able to do this season?
No, not at all. That's just something that he's done, and ever since he got here, we knew he was going to be a special player. And those are two plays that we've ran a bunch in practice, ran a bunch in camp, and that we knew we could dial those up when we needed them. I thought that was a big situation, and the offensive line did a great job protecting, and then having a guy like Ladd go up and get a ball like that, it's a game changer.
Was that throw the one to Crosser, the second one, was that? Did you know that you would have gotten far? I don't know. Have you seen the picture of you actually? There's like a picture of you looking with your legs in the air, catching it from the sideline. Have you seen this?
I haven't.
You haven't. Okay. But how difficult of a throw was that for you? Like getting hit, making that pass.
I think I got the ball off before I got hit. So I knew that I had time. Ladd ran a great route. The read was short to high, so I went through two guys and then saw Ladd. So he was the third guy in the progression, and he just got open. Ran a great route, shook a guy, and it's a trust throw where you just know that hey, this guy's going to be in this position when you're going to throw it, and he was exactly where he needed to be.
With Ladd, not to compare him to anyone, you guys have played with some good route runners in your career. Just for where he is in his career as a rookie, how good is his route running, and how much better do you think he can get?
Yeah, one of the most important things about Ladd is how friendly he is to the quarterback, and I talk about it all the time. Where he runs such great routes and he comes back at such a friendly angle, and he's never running into danger, and he's never running directly into a guy that's going to cover him. He's just got a great feel for zone, and then enough shiftiness to be able to beat man coverage. And when you have a combination like that and a guy that really understands defenses and how people want to play him, he just finds a way to get open.
How did you learn that? Is that learned, or is that just a gift from God or something?
Yeah, I think it can be learned. I think a lot of it is just natural feel, and I'm sure that he was probably really good playing recess football, of just going out there and making things happen, making plays, and that's kind of where it comes from, of just going out there and getting open. Where a play breaks down, he's going to find a way to beat a guy, and that's something I really appreciate about Ladd.
Just getting the seams, see where the opening is, and then just kind of settle. Is that what he's
doing? Yeah, just understanding defenses and what coverage they're in, and understanding the route he's running, and how do I get open on this route? And it's not running into a guy that's waiting out there for him. So if he understands if there's a guy out there that's buzzing underneath him, he's able to kind of sit it up, curl it up, and just be real friendly to the quarterback, where it gives me an opportunity to throw him the ball where he's open, and he's not putting the ball in harm's way.
Is that where your connection with him can start, like back in the spring in OTAs or mini camp or whatever?
Yeah, and I think like on that route that we were talking about, that corner route, he's got to be in a certain position, and he was exactly where he needed to be. So it's a trust throw where I'm dropping back, I'm not even looking at him initially, and so you just kind of see him flash. You put the ball up, and that he's going to go run underneath it, and I think that is definitely something that started back in OTAs.
Justin, with the game this Sunday, it seems like Jim would rather the focus be on Chargers versus the Ravens. Obviously, it's Jim going against his brother. As Jim's players, what would it mean for you guys to get a win for him against his brother?
Yeah, Coach Harbaugh's done such a great job, and we've all enjoyed playing for him so much, and we know how important this is for him, and I imagine if I were to play one of my brothers, it'd be a really cool opportunity. My parents would love to be able to be there and support, and I can only imagine how big this is to him and his family. So I think it is another very important game for us. We've got a really good opponent coming here on Monday, but understanding that Coach Harbaugh, it's a special moment for him.
Can you talk about the magnitude of the game just being on the Monday night stage and what the Ravens are and have been in the conference? How big of a game this is for you guys?
Yeah, I think it's always good to be playing in games like this. You want to be able to play in games like this in November and December, and to know that that you're still in it, you're still fighting, and you're doing everything you can. And like I said, it's a really good opponent that we're having come here on Monday, and so we have to have a great week of practice, great week of preparation, and know that our best is what we need for it.
Do you feel like it's a measuring stick for you guys?
I think every game is. It's another opportunity to go play football and to go show the world what we're able to do. And each week we're working to get better and continuing to improve and learn on what went wrong last week, continue on what went well. So I think as long as we're doing that and handling business here, I'm looking forward to what's going to happen.
7-3 right now, 4-game winning streak. It's kind of new for you to be in this position at this stage of the season. Obviously, in 22, you guys went on the run at the end, made the playoffs, but you were sort of fighting and clawing through the middle part of the season. So to be here now, to be rolling, to be 4 games over 500, even in the mix for the division, like how does it feel to be in this spot, considering that you maybe haven't been in this spot previously at this stage of the season?
Yeah, I think it's a product of all the hard work that we've put in. But at the same time, you have to focus up and realize that there's a lot of football left. 6 or 7 games, I believe, and to understand that that's roughly a college football season. That's a lot of games, and to be where we want to be, to keep going where we want to go. This is the most important stretch, and it starts with the Ravens, and it starts with this week of practice. And I think it is a really cool sign for us to be able to build off some wins like that, especially where we've been the past couple of years. So it's been really good to see, but to continue to work is the most important thing for us right now.
On Monday, Jim mentioned the practice last week when it was super windy, and he said that he told the team after practice that he felt like you are weatherproof and the team is weatherproof. He said that you didn't love the practice, and he was like, "Well, I thought you had a great practice." And he sort of started talking about you're a perfectionist and you want to be perfect. How do you sort of manage that? Where you obviously have these standards for yourself. You want to be perfect. You want to make every throw, but your head coach might disagree with you in some points and say, hey, no, this is more than good enough. How do you sort of manage that, who you are versus, what you're hearing from Coach Harbaugh at times?
I think it's good sometimes to hear that perspective. I think at quarterback sometimes you lose perspective of where you're at. And if you throw a bad pass or you throw an incompletion or an interception, it's easy for that to ruin practice, because practice should look a certain way, and you don't want to be the guy that's holding up practice. And so there are times where it was really windy, and the ball got caught up in the wind, and it kind of looked off and kind of slowed up a receiver, and it was just like, that's not the standard that I would hold myself to. But it's nice to know that perspective, that it was windy, it was a tough day, and it's okay to make mistakes like that in practice, and as long as you're learning from them, I'm getting better at it. So
when you have conversations like that, does it change your perspective at all, or are you just wired to always hold yourself to that sort of professional standard?
I think it helps a little bit. I think you go back and you watch the film, and it's never as bad as it looks or as it felt out there in practice. And so you watch it and you say, you know what, the flag or the uprights were moving. It was a tough day. So you give yourself a little bit of grace.
Justin, in general, when you do hear Jim go on and on about how much he loves you as a quarterback, what kind of making a face there? But what is your reaction to that?
I think it's really cool to be able to play for a coach like that. He loves his players so much, and to be a part of this team, and I just want to make right by him, make him proud, and do everything that I can to keep this thing going. And I know he's seen a lot of good football. He knows what he's doing, and as long as I'm listening to him and making sure that I'm doing the right things, I think we're going in the right direction. So I think it's important for me to keep doing that, but at the same time, it's really cool to be a part of, and it never hurts to hear good things. So
Did it take getting used to? Like, have you come around to the way he sort of approaches talking about you, talking to you?
Yes, starting off, I was very against, like wearing the gold jersey and the praise in front of everyone, and it's not really my style to want that and to. But I don't know. The more you go through it, and it bothers you less and less, and I think it's cool to have a coach support you like that. I try and say as many good things about him as possible, but I think I'm outnumbered. So he's done a really good job, and I love playing for him.
Was there a point where you kind of just like gave in? You were just like you try to push against the gold jersey thing. Like, was there a point where you're like, he's just not going to stop, so I might as well come around?
I think it was the gold jersey. Yeah, I was like, well, what about maybe getting the other quarterbacks to wear the gold jersey? And he's like, no. So I said, okay, that's how it's going to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Last week also you were talking about how he's pushing you out of your comfort zone a little bit, talking in front of the team and making like the wise word speeches. Just how has the things he's kind of talked to you about and made you do just kind of made you grow as a player and a person, getting out of your comfort zone a little bit?
Yeah, I think when I said that, I think he's done that more so for everyone. I don't think it's been specifically for me or specifically for one player. I think that's just who he is, and he wants everyone to feel comfortable and have that platform to talk to the team and share those messages, because I think it's really cool where guys have shared a message with the team and it's all aligned together. Everyone's on one purpose, one mission, and I think Coach Harbaugh giving that platform for those guys, I think it's really beneficial for the team. And as the quarterback, I have that responsibility to speak up, talk about it, and whether it's the offense, defense, whatever it is, I think it's really cool that he's able to give us that.
Do you think those things have helped you grow personally just as a player?
Yeah, I think it has been really helpful. I think it's always something as a quarterback's role where I have felt comfortable being able to go up and when there's a time to say something and a time to speak up, our offense knows that, and we've been able to accomplish that over the past couple of years. But there's always room to improve, and so to have a coach like Coach Harbaugh come in and teach that and express that, I think it's been really helpful.